like JoJo Siwa. Like,
Yeah,
why are you
seriously.
making music?
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
not good.
Welcome back to B-Side Banter. I am here with Kelly from Joe Keery Daily. Basically kind of like news updates on Joe and on, Joe Keery himself. Focused on music. I kind of found your account, I think, because I was doing an interview with somebody else and we were talking about Joe
Mhm.
and Crux, and you were like, "Hey, this is cool." And then I was like, we need to talk because I love diving in to specific artists, especially when, the fandom is really cool and just like really passionate. So, super happy to have you on, Kelly. And I'm going to kick it to you to maybe just explain what you do, your channel, and all that stuff.
Perfect. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. Whenever I see like podcasts or like different people like mentioning Joe, I always want to like repost because for
Uh-huh.
so long it's been so hard to find like good content talking about his
Yeah.
music and
Yeah.
just strictly like his music and seeing new people discover it. I get so
Mhm.
excited.
Yeah.
Um, so I was really happy to see this and thank you for having me on. I'm super excited.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I started Oh, sorry.
No,
You
go
want me to
for
go
it.
ahead?
Yeah, go
So
for it.
I started this account, like my Instagram, like
Mhm.
3 years ago, um, right before, like, he started teasing Decide, so that was his 2nd
Nice.
album.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of fan pages at the time just strictly dedicated to his music, and
Mhm.
I wanted to do something different, and it was really a very different time 3 years ago, like,
Mhm.
it was I would I would say it was dead, like, you really didn't get a lot of updates, he wasn't very active,
Yeah.
so it was kind of the fans really pushing the
Mhm.
music, so I
Mhm.
wanted to just kind of celebrate it and meet people that also really enjoyed his music, and then it kind of just took off, and now 3 years later, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, you've got a huge following and like he himself and his music has really taken off as well. Like it's
Oh,
almost like
yeah.
it almost seems like you kind of grew with his career, which is like really cool.
That is kinda cool, like, I don't even know, like, I don't sometimes, like, with the algorithm, a post hits or something,
Mhm.
and then it just goes, but, like, people stick around, I guess, because they like the updates, and they like to see, like, the concert footage
Yeah.
and, kinda just knowing what's going on in
Mhm.
the Joe world.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um,
Mhm,
give us like a little bit let's so we kind of found out a little bit about yourself, your channel. Let's get a little bit of the origins of Joe, like themselves as the band. Because
mhm,
I think a lot of people kind of think like that don't know him or don't know the band, they kind of think like, well, he got really famous with Stranger Things and then decided to like start a band, but that's not true. So
mm-mm.
yeah, like give us a little bit of history of Joe.
Yeah, so he actually was in a band, like, before Stranger Things, so he was in a band called Post Animal,
Mm.
which he also is touring with, they're opening for him. So he was with them, and some of them actually are in Joe, like, they're in the
Mhm.
band as well. So he was with them for years, and then when Stranger Things kind of took off, he couldn't dedicate the time to touring and being,
Mhm.
like, a touring musician. So, unfortunately, he did have to leave
Yeah.
Post Animal,
Yeah.
and he focused more on the acting for a while,
Yeah.
and then formed Joe and released 2020 in 2019,
Hmm.
which back then nobody really knew it was him. He was wearing the wig, the sunglasses,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was very like low key. So he's always made music. Like he's talked
Mhm.
about how he's been a musician, since a teen, like self taught. But, then he started releasing albums. And then now it's like he's, you know, almost like he doesn't even really have to act anymore with how well his music career is doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, which is
Yeah,
kinda
totally.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really crazy. And I guess what do you think went into kind of the explosion of Joe, because like it seemed like for a little bit it was like kind of on the peripheral, like, oh,
Mhm.
he has a band.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, like this is legit. And yeah.
So when End of Beginning started going viral on
Mhm.
TikTok, I think that was just a cool way for people to kind of start getting like introduced and figuring out like who he was. Of course, every video was like, "Oh my god, this is Steve Harrington from Stranger Things" or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm.
which, I always looked at it like um it was cool that new people were discovering his music.
Yeah.
So even if they weren't really, like, sure, and they were like, "Oh, is this Steve Harrington?" Once they started listening to all of his music, they were like, "Wow," like, he's a really great musician. But TikTok and blowing up End of Beginning really, I think, changed the trajectory of his entire career,
Mhm.
which I don't think we would have gotten the tour or a lot like, the festivals, anything, if that
Mhm.
didn't really have that impact. I think we there would always be fans and new people would discover his music, but
Yeah.
TikTok, it has its, like, positive and negative, but it did really kind of change things
Yeah.
for him and
Yeah.
in a really cool way.
Yeah, completely broke him into
Mhm,
the mainstream. And then like it's one of those things where I think sometimes you get these TikTok moments and like it this really cool thing happens, but then it might not actually accumulate into anything. But like it's like with Joe, like the snowball kept happening because then like he
mhm,
had his festival moments, which also went viral. Like
mhm.
so it's just like things just kept going and going,
Yeah,
and just snowballing on top of each other. And he just had like these continued moments of virality, which really like
mhm.
propelled him, it seems like, into what is happening right now.
And the fact that he, like, consistently makes good music, like, the follow-up, like, The Crux is a great album,
Mhm.
and he he could've I mean, he makes the music that he wants to make, but
Yeah.
it's a testament to just who he is as a musician that it's just good. So
Mhm.
people may have discovered him for End of Beginning, but then realized, "Wow, he makes some really good music, and I wanna stick around and see what else he does," which
Mhm.
I love.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and let's talk about Crux. Like,
Mhm.
where do you rank? I guess he's only got 3 albums, right? Just 3?
Yeah. Mhm.
Where do you like where do you rank those in terms of preference for yourself?
Oh, boy. So, I would probably rank 2020 first.
Okay.
Just because I think it's so inventive, I just think it's unique. There's so many just fun sounds. I love that album. It's been my
Mhm.
favorite album. Then I would probably do The Crux second and then Decide third.
Okay.
But it's so hard. It's so hard ranking them because
Yeah.
they're all so good. But
Yeah.
2020 is just special.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm sure it carries, like, nostalgia for you as well.
Mhm.
Like, that's what is so powerful about music is, like,
Yeah.
when you really connect to an album, it kind of powers you for a long time because you then, after years, you go back and it's like the nostalgia of it is almost, like, powering it more than like, yeah, it's really cool that way. Um Yeah, I haven't, like, to be completely transparent, I haven't listened to a whole lot of the rest of his
Mhm.
discography, which I know there's only 2 albums. I've heard, like, some songs here and there off of both
Mhm.
2020 and Decide. The Crux was really the first of his that I was like, "I'm gonna listen to this whole thing." And yeah, I was kind of like I think when it came out, I was maybe and, like, the whole TikTok craze around, End of
Mhm.
Beginning or whatever, I was kinda like, is this just another actor using their platform? I was kinda skeptical.
Mm,
Listening to Crux,
yeah.
I was like, "No, like, this guy's legit." Whether or not, like, he did use his platform to try to make music, it doesn't matter anymore, which proved to be false.
Mhm.
But it doesn't matter anymore because this is good. Like what he is coming out with is good.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so I really enjoyed Crux, and, it was great surprise to have the deluxe drop as well.
I was I was not expecting that. I was shocked. I was like, "Wow." And
Yeah,
it's so good, and, like,
yeah,
it tells a whole story, which is what I love
mhm,
about it. Like, I would feel like the Crux, like, the deluxe is first, and if you
mhm,
listen to it, it really does paint, like, a whole story from start to finish, which I think is really, really awesome. And then as a fan, kind of getting to really experience, like, his storytelling, like, his lyrics and his music, just the way he's come such a long way
mhm,
from 2020, even just songwriting wise,
yeah,
is, like, incredible.
yeah, yeah,
And I
absolutely.
don't know if that's confidence or just practice, but really, like, some of these lyrics, I'm like, who like,
Mhm,
just the growth is just amazing, and the honesty too, like, really being honest,
yeah,
like, with yourself and your audience.
mhm. Do you dive, like, pretty deep into, how he, like his creative process and who he works with? Like, do you know if he, expanded, like, his songwriting circle, with Crux? Like, do you know any of those details?
I think he wrote all of it, I
Okay.
think, and then Adam Tyne, he's worked with him on every album, I think
Mm,
he's helped.
mhm.
He maybe wrote a couple of songs, but
Yeah,
he keeps his circle pretty tight and small,
yeah,
and the same people he's worked with from the beginning,
yeah,
he's kept even now.
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It's always kind of interesting to know, like yeah, when you see like, artist progression, are they, like as they get better and as they,
Mhm,
like, basically, develop, are they using different producers? Are they using different writers? Like, and it looks like I'm just looking this up really, quickly.
mhm,
It looks like he also produces a lot of it too, Joe,
mhm. Like,
and
he's got
Adam
his
from
hands in everything.
mhm.
Yeah, he's got his hands
Which,
in everything.
like, I think that legitimizes him more.
Mhm,
I think, like, music culture gets a little too, what's the word I want to say, like they get a little too, like, stuck up about, like, artists needing to do everything, like, write their own
yeah,
songs, produce their own songs, like, that makes them more legit. Like, that definitely means they're very talented in a lot of different ways, but it
mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean that they're not legit if they, have a bunch of
No, I
writers or
agree.
they don't produce. But there is something when you see, especially a young, like, early artists like Joe is,
Mhm.
just 3 albums out doing all this stuff and
Yeah,
being able to continue to pump out new music.
mhm.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, and
No.
for people to be continuing to enjoy it. Yeah, a lot of people really enjoyed the Crux, thinking, like, this is, like, the album of the summer kinda thing.
That's how I felt about it, like, when I first heard it, it's a lot different from 2020, and it's a lot different from Decide, and I think he really leaned into, like, musicians and styles of music that inspire him, which
Mhm.
I loved because it's also kind of like the vibes that I liked. You know, you have, like, the '70s and the '80s, and you can really hear all of the influences. No, but it really is, I think, from start to finish. I would call it a perfect album.
Mm.
Like, to me, it is a perfect album. Like, it's one I will every time I put it on, start to finish. Like, I'm not skipping around. That's, like, just how you have to listen to it.
Mhm.
Whereas there is albums where, like, I love the album, but it's not one that I'll sit and listen all the way through. But
Yeah,
this
sure.
one consistently every time can right through.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just, like, I'm just kind of amazed with some of these. I would lump him into, like, kind of this, like these, like, rising artists, and I know we were chatting, just, like, DMing or whatever, and you were saying,
Mhm.
like, you're really hoping that he gets, like, a nod for best new artist, which
Yeah.
I think he's definitely in those talks, in that category, um, because, his fandom is really exploding in the same way that we saw, like, Role Model explode. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
kind of
Oh, yeah.
really similar things happening, utilizing social media to really like explode this
Uh-huh.
fandom and like people really gravitating, latching on to these artists. Like you think of Somber as well. Like there's a lot of these young artists coming up that are really cool and getting a lot of attention. And I think that Joe has like put in the work for it. And I feel like
Uh-huh.
this is definitely like with this album, and especially because it was kind of a down year for like really big mainstream artists. Like there wasn't a lot of
Uh-huh.
really big names that dropped. It gave space for the Crux to just be like people's album of the summer. Like not saying
Yeah,
it
like
wouldn't have been if somebody bigger dropped, but like I just think that space was there and he capitalized on that.
mhm, no, I agree, and that's, like, also going back to end of beginning, that was also the time I think when UMG pulled all of their music off
Mm.
TikTok,
Yeah.
like, the streaming, so it gave, like, a platform for smaller artists
Yeah.
at like, to their songs to explode. I think even that's kind of the time when Chapel kind of
Yeah.
also blew up,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
so like, it gave more indie, smaller artists
Mhm.
a chance to kind of shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, completely. Just really cool stuff.
Mhm,
What do you think of like, cause I think it was like right around the time that I was kind of like skeptically listening to Joe, like being like, I think this guy's just like maybe this guy's just, you know, an actor trying to utilize his platform to do something
mhm.
else, to do music. Similar to like when famous people start podcasts. You're like, oh come on, like of course he's
Yeah.
gonna do well and like do we need another one
Mhm,
of these? Um
mhm.
but I think it was Finn Wolfhard also like started making some music. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, like, what is happening? Like, is this just something like, did all the Stranger Things people just be like, say, like, hey, if you have any musical talent, you should try to like start music." So I'd be curious, like, where you're kind of in this realm ish. Like, were you following that? Were you following Finn? Were you excited about that? Were you skeptical?
So I do like, I don't really follow I know he makes music. He actually showed up, I think, at one of Joe's shows in Toronto,
Hmm.
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um, his music isn't really my style.
yeah,
So it's like he's a talented musician, but it's like it's not really my jam, if I could say. Like
yeah,
I don't even know how I don't know how to explain, like he's
yeah.
great. Like I have a couple of friends that went to his show,
Hmm.
like, but I'm not like running just to like buy a ticket to
Yeah.
go see it. Like I think it's cool that like because I know Maya Hawke makes music. Like
Yep.
I think it's cool that they're all, you know, very musically inclined. But
Hmm.
I think out of all of them, I think the most legit and the most talented and the one who puts the most work in, I think is Joe.
Hmm.
I would actually say he's, like, to me, musician first,
Yeah.
actor second. That might be
Sure.
a little bit of, like, a controversial take, but
Hmm.
really, like, music is where he really shines, and he's just good at it. Like,
Hmm.
he's very knowledgeable about music, like, what he knows, and, like, then he works with Adam Tyne, who is, like, trained and knows music theory, so it's
Yeah.
like they're kind of like a perfect, like, match,
Hmm.
so it just works, but
Yeah.
don't really like, I know Maya's music, I know Finn's, but I'm, like, not super, super fans, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And,
Mhm.
like, are you kind of skeptical as to what they're doing, or are you just kinda like, "Whatever, it's fine?"
A little skeptical. I'm trying to say it, like, in a nice way. I mean, like, it's cool, but I think, like I'm like, does everybody have to release music?
Yeah.
You can you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and especially, like, where we're also getting, like, this wave of, like, TikTok influencers that are, like, testing the waters with music, so you've got, like,
Mhm.
Addison Rae and Alex Warren, and you're kinda like, "Okay," like, so now I guess is, like, music the new podcasting, like, where it's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I've got a platform, now I'm gonna do something else, let's do music." Um,
Mhm. Like
Yeah.
JoJo Siwa, like,
Yeah,
why are you
seriously.
making music?
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
not good, like,
Yeah.
just but you it's like you have the money to, like,
Mhm.
rent out the space and to, like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm,
It is one of those things that, like, it's hard not to have, like, instant skepticism around it,
mhm,
and to discount, like, what might be, like, a legitimate person entering that world. You're kinda, like, instantly like, I don't know," like,
yeah.
I don't know if I trust this," like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's, like, what everybody did with Joe, like, they
Yeah,
were like, "Oh, he's just, like, he had, like, this TikTok hit, whatever, it doesn't
yeah.
matter," and then you know, follows that up
Mhm,
with the Crux and then follows it up with festivals and his tour, and he's like, "No, this is, like, for real, like, I'm
mhm.
legit."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do you think that he's gonna kind of, like, not, um not really do much more with acting after, like, because like, Stranger Things is coming along to their
Mhm.
last season, right? I think this is they announced it was their last season. Did they?
Yeah, I think it airs I'm so bad. I think it starts in November,
Okay.
like, the final like, it
Yeah.
airs, and
Yeah.
then it goes so, yeah, this is it. Like, they're done with that.
Yeah. And then, like, do you think he's gonna be like, "You know what? Let's just do music and not, like, acting," or do you think he'll always try to balance the 2?
I think he'll always try to balance the 2. I think right now, the focus is gonna be more music,
Mhm.
because I know he's doing, like, the South American, like, Lollapalooza, so he's kind of already starting to book his next year full of,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
s and whereas before it was all acting roles, so I
Yeah.
think he'll have maybe one day go and get some, like, movies. I don't know if he'll do television again, but I think for the time being, they're gonna ride the wave of the music and kinda
Mhm.
just keep going,
Yeah.
um, because right now it's really hot, like, it's
Yeah.
people are listening and paying
Mhm.
attention, so
Mhm. Absolutely. Have you seen him live?
I have, and I'm actually seeing him again next weekend, and then I'm
Nice.
actually flying out to a show just because I was like, "I have to go." But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
saw him in Philly and
Okay.
in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Barricade. It was amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
And
much
so,
fun.
like, from your perspective as a live performer as well, like, he's got that. Like, it's not doesn't seem forced or anything.
No, and, like, and a lot of his fans will say this, like, he did actually performed at Lollapalooza in 2022.
Mhm.
Um, and then obviously he came back and did it again this year, but
Yeah.
he's grown even so much as like a stage performer, like a live
Mhm.
performer, um, like confidence wise, vocally. But
Mhm.
no, the whole like it is just it's a fun, really lively show and just good. And you're sweating by the end because like
Yeah.
it's just it's a great time. No, but it's legit. Like that they really are putting in the work and want to
Mhm.
put on a good show
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. There's so many components, especially once you get bigger. Um,
Mhm,
like, the pressure to put on an amazing show and
mhm,
to perform and to satisfy your fan base, does grow. And, like, as you like, there's different levels. Like, if he gets to the next level, it's going to be like, what else do you add to your show? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, and then you get to certain levels, and it's like almost like sometimes the kind of like performance or production side of things becomes like much more important. So it is cool to see that he's like rising to these moments. Um,
yeah,
yeah, because I think sometimes you get a little like bit of disappointment if, as an artist grows, they're not necessarily rising to the expectation of what a live
mhm.
performance should be.
And I always think of like the Eras tour, and I know a lot of people will from now. I feel like that kind of had like a good and like bad effect on like people going to live shows because
Yeah.
not every artist is going to put on a 3.5 hour show.
Mm,
Sometimes,
yeah,
first of all, they don't have the like, they just she has so many albums, so much, and
yeah,
that's just her.
yeah.
And some artists just but it's not even to me, it's not even like I don't need a 3.5 hour show. I just need like
Mm,
a good show.
yeah,
So, I mean, yeah, but that I feel like really kind of set the tone for a lot of people, and they're like, "How do you even compete with, like,
yeah,
3.5 hours?" But, like, you don't always have to, like,
yeah,
you just need to really be on it
mm,
when you're performing, which
yeah,
he does, like, it's from start to finish, you feel it, like, it's
mm,
so good.
yeah, yeah, and like, there's not you don't necessarily need to. Yeah, I think some people maybe are like, "Oh, everybody needs to put as much effort and as much whatever into it as Taylor Swift," but it's like
Mhm,
she's like the best performer ever, really. Like, she's in
mhm.
that conversation with the Eras Tour. The people that are competing with her are like Beyonce,
Yeah,
Coldplay,
mhm,
The Weeknd, those are Justin Bieber, like those are people that have to, because of what she did, are like, oh, I guess I have to raise the bar. Um,
yeah,
Whereas I do think like Joe has this that like they can just be a band and be
mhm,
like, hey, we're here and we don't need to have all these extra production things. We're just going
mm-mm,
to perform well. We're going to bring a lot of good energy and
mhm,
we're going to just kill it. Once they get to, if they start getting even bigger and bigger, then maybe they'll have to consider like, okay, what do we add now? But I think just having a really good performance goes a really long way.
mhm.
Engaging the audience and the crowd, and yeah, I think
Yeah, that's all
that,
you need.
yeah, yeah, totally. Um, but like there's pressure. There's pressure to be like I don't want to say gimmicky, but like there's pressure to
Mhm.
have your thing. Like we mentioned role model, like he has that whole Sally thing where it brings up
Yeah,
a Sally on stage. Like that's a big thing. That's a thing that people get really excited about. Um, the Jonas Brothers are now they're forced because low ticket sales. They had to cancel a bunch of shows.
yeah,
They're now forced to do something to bring excitement to their shows. It like they're realizing like people aren't just coming because we're the Jonas Brothers anymore. So now they're bringing out special guests every show, and it's like that's cool. That's cool, but like yeah,
like
I don't.
Glenn
Yeah,
Powell
I know,
came out.
I
I'm
know.
like, "What? Okay, cool." But, like, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
a lot
it's just one of those things where it's hard when you
mhm,
like you there's this balance. Like at some point you have to do more than just be that band and perform, and like the Jonas
mhm.
Brothers are experiencing that. Because I don't think they had any intention to do this until they
No.
realized we have to cancel. I don't know how many concerts they canceled, but I think it was like potentially like in between 5 and 10. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's cool to see these
Yeah,
bands kind of coming up, and like yeah, there's some loss of interest in live shows, but then in certain areas and certain pockets there's like a real big interest in live music.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't
I
know
will
if
always choose live music. Like, I love
yeah,
live mu I wish I could go to more shows of things. Like,
yeah,
some bands just live are just on a whole different level of
hmm,
just good,
yeah,
which
yeah,
when yeah. And I think Joe's I would consider him one of those, like, he he's like a lot like, I think, he needs to release, like, a live recording of stuff because
mm,
he changes up the arrangements and different things, and it just like, End of Beginning is, like, acoustic now when he plays it live,
mm,
whereas on the album, like, it's not. I'm like, "Someone release this on Spotify, like, the
yeah,
live version because it's just so good and people love
mm,
it."
hmm, yeah, yeah, totally. Um, I'm sure if like one of those performances goes super viral, he would. Um,
Mhm.
Similar to, I don't know if are you familiar with the artist Samia?
Yes.
Yeah, because she had that, like, her song "Pool," the Tiny Desk version of it go, like, super, super viral, but with the Tiny
Mhm,
Desk performances, the artist doesn't own any of the like, she couldn't have just released that, 'cause Tiny Desk owns that version, basically. So she then was like, "Well, I guess I'm recording a stripped down version," which, yeah, like, so I could definitely see, um, either doing a live recording or if there's enough demand, him being like, "Well, I'll just do a stripped down version. Like, I'll do
mhm,
what I do live, but we'll just record it really quick in the studio and put that out."
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's yeah, it's anyway, I think that, like, it seems to me I'm hearing all this buzz around Joe, and, like, it seems
uh-huh,
that he's really rising to that occasion, that, like, he's got a lot
mhm.
of this extra interest, and he's rising to that, so it's really cool to see. I'm curious, like, because you do a ton of stuff with, like, news and updates. I'm curious, like, what are you following right now in the Joe world? Like, are there any, like, exciting things that you're, like, kind of, grabbing a hold of, or are things a little quieter now that he's released Deluxe?
Well, they're gonna be quiet for, like, this next week, and then he starts back touring. So he's
Mm,
gonna do All Things Go, he's gonna do that festival, and then
nice.
he's gonna go back on tour
Mm,
for, like, Another Bite. So it's gonna be busy and,
yeah.
live shows and hopefully, like, radio interviews, but no, yeah, it's still pretty lively, but I think the live shows and the festivals will kinda kick things up
Mhm.
again, but I don't know, I wasn't expecting a deluxe album, so I have no idea, like,
Yeah.
what is gonna happen. Like, are they gonna change the set list? What are we doing? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
How did he roll that out? Like, how did he roll out the deluxe? Did he just drop it? I
it
wasn't
was
really.
it was so weird. Like, they were, like, posting, um like, he released, like, 3 songs,
Mm,
like, back to back, but then was also, like, being vague and, like, going on Insta Live and, like, it was
yeah.
muted and, like, he was just in there, and it was just, like, kind of like that goofy, like, marketing, but we all knew something was happening,
Mm,
but we just thought we were getting a couple of songs and that was
yeah.
it, and then we find out it's a whole album, but,
Wow.
you know,
That's
just, like,
crazy.
kind of always kind of vague,
Yeah.
not direct. This one was
Mhm.
kinda like they were teasing us with, like, weird stuff, which is kind of like his brand, and then it just popped at midnight, and we were like, "Oh, holy shit, what the heck?
Mhm.
Where'd this come from?"
Mhm. Yeah, and I suppose, like, there's probably a little bit of, like, probably like, I guess, like, it's kinda weird, like, his worlds must feel so divided for him, but I was gonna say, like, with Stranger Things, like, coming out soonish, like,
Mhm.
I'm sure, like, things will be a little quieter a little bit, but, like, at the same time, it's like, they don't have to be because, like, obviously, they're done filming. Like, it's not
Yeah,
like, they might go on press tours, I don't know if they still do that,
I think
but
they do.
yeah. So but he's a big enough character that he probably would, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he just didn't because, like, there's so many people in the cast that could, like, handle all the press
Yeah, and
interviews, right? Like, and especially
seriously,
with him touring.
and I think what would be funny because for so long, even, like, when End of Beginning was viral and he was doing interviews, he was still getting, like, a ton of Stranger Things questions, which he always
Mm,
answers
yeah,
graciously, and he will but, like, that's not why we're here, like, we're here to talk about the music, and he's
yeah,
fine with it, but I think this time around, I wouldn't be shocked if some of the questions for him now will be more about his music, which I think would is kinda actually really exciting and
mhm,
probably really flattering.
mhm,
But, you know, it's crazy. Like,
yeah,
just that's ending, and then his music career is kinda taking off, so it's
yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
the perfect time for it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Um, let's talk Stranger Things a little bit. Are you
Yes.
excited for the new season?
I'm excited and scared because because I'm like, they're because I don't know, everyone argues me, I'm like, "They're gonna kill Steve Harrington. They have
You
to,
think so?
like,
Yeah.
they're just" I've watched enough TV in my
Mhm.
lifetime to
Mhm.
know that, like, they if they wanna really pack a punch and really
Yeah.
kind of I was like, everyone just needs to prepare for it, and it's
Yeah.
coming out on all major holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. I was like, "Great, so it's gonna ruin all my holidays." But I'm like but
Yeah.
I'm excited. Like, it's hard to, like, see it go, but it's also, like, I wanna see how they tie everything up, but I'm also
Mhm.
like, "Please don't kill Steve Harrington. Just please don't." But I'm like, they're probably going to
They're
kill Steve Harrington.
Yeah, they're gonna kill somebody, like, somebody's or multiple people, like, you know what I mean? Like you said, like, there has to be something that happens and, like, where
Mhm.
we thought they killed off Hopper, but then he's like, "No, he's still alive." Like, now
Yeah.
they've really gotta do something, um, so, yeah,
I mean, they could literally kill the entire cast as long as Steve Harrington's okay. Like, I don't even care. Like, we're
yeah,
good. Like, everyone could die as long as he's cool. I'm good. But yeah, no, I don't know. There's definitely gonna be 11's definitely a goner for
you think
sure.
so? Yeah. Yeah, sacrifice herself in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We're
Yeah.
who knows? But it's gonna be crazy. Like, and they're like almost like full length movies at this point.
Yeah, 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 and they're, like I think, like, the other hard part is, like, they're so old now, like,
I
they
know.
did a decent-ish job, like, but, like, they just have let too much time go in between filming that,
Way
like,
too long.
it's like, I don't know, like, how do they keep like, I guess they can do, like, a 10 years later type of thing, but I don't know. It's it's one of those things where it's like, man, this, like, stuff is gonna change a lot, like, I'm excited to
Yeah.
see, but I'm kinda holding my breath, like, I don't know if I'm gonna love it, I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, "That was kinda disappointing." It's really tough,
Mhm.
like, I think to a degree, like, a series like that is really hard to recover from a first season because in season 1, you're, like, so excited about the world they're creating, and, like, everything is
Mhm.
brand new and you have no idea what's going on at all. But then
Yeah.
once season 2 comes around, you know about everything. You know about so like
Mhm.
it's harder to bring the kind of surprise and the cliffhangers and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like then it has to revolve instead of it revolving around what is this world? It's like revolved around like the characters, are they going to make it out of this? And like then it becomes a little more difficult to like
Mhm.
captivate you. And yeah, I felt like season 2 was not as good, and then season 3 was a little better, and then season 4 was better than that, but it's
Mhm.
like, now how do you I don't know.
Kind of tie it all to no, I know what you mean, like, how to and, like, I'll be honest, at this point, like and this might be just my testament because I am a fan of Joe, like, I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Okay, what's gonna happen to Steve?"
Yeah.
I'm interested
Yeah.
in everybody else, but I'm like, "What's Steve's
Yeah.
story?" Like, and I
Yeah.
know that's, like everyone's like, "Oh my god," but I'm like, I'm being honest, like, love the show, like, season 1
Mhm.
truly is, like, to me, like a classic. It's like watching one of those old classic '80s movies, like, it
Mm.
stands the test of time,
Yeah.
and then season 2 I like, season 3, I just found it's funny, it makes me laugh, but, like, season 4, better,
Mhm.
but again, like, I feel like now people are more invested in the characters,
Yeah.
more so than
Yeah.
everything el it's like they wanna know what is gonna happen with their favorite
Mhm.
character,
Mhm.
whereas they aren't really caring about how the show ends as a whole.
Yeah, it's true.
They're
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, "Who's gonna make it?" Like you said, "Who's gonna make it? Is my character that I love
Mhm.
gonna make it?"
Mhm.
Which and I think that is too because it's been 10 years, like, there's no I think it's ridiculous that it's been 10 years, I don't think there's a reason for that.
Mhm.
I know the strike messed
Yeah.
with it a little bit, but
Yeah.
still, like,
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's that weird Netflix thing where, like, season
Mhm,
1 came out and, like, they just weren't sure. Were we gonna keep doing this? Are we not? And then once it renews, then it's like that then it's tough to, like then you're into scheduling and, like, yeah, so it makes sense that it's, like, a year or 2 years later that you can even put this out, but it's like after the popularity of season 1, you would think that they would have just been like, let's make seasons 2, 3, 4, and 5 like really quick. Like let's just do it all. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like they were waiting after every season. Like, are people gonna like this enough? Is Netflix gonna give us another like crack at another season? And it's like we all should have known with the popularity of season 1 that yes, like people are invested. But yeah, I don't know. It is funny how it's like it's not even about any like nobody cares about what happens with the upside down world at this point.
I
Nobody
don't give a
cares.
shit. I don't care. I don't care. Is Steve Harrington
Yeah,
going to live?
yeah,
Is Nancy Wheeler going to live? Are they
yeah,
going to be together? Which,
exactly.
is Dustin gonna make it or are y'all
Hmm.
gonna kill him? Like,
Hmm.
I don't like what is the upside down? I still don't know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what is it?
yeah,
Why were they in the past? Like, is
yeah.
anybody gonna answer any of these questions?
Hmm.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
I'm sure they're gonna tie it up, but like I said, I just don't think anybody cares at this point. Like I think,
No.
like you were saying, I think it's more about the characters. It's more about
Mhm.
like I hope that so and so is gonna be alive, and I hope that like they do justice to their character in the end. Like, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? So yeah, it's just so it's funny. It's funny how it's kind of divulged into that, but I guess maybe a lot of shows do that. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm always what's it like, it's like Game of Thrones. Like,
Hmm.
talk about the most disappointing ending to a show that literally was, like, a phenomenon, and
Hmm.
then it just, like, ended, and
Yeah.
I was like, "What? That's
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
This was so stupid."
Hmm.
Like, yeah, so I don't want it to have, like, a Game of Thrones final season
Yeah.
type of vibe or ending, like, end on, like, a end on a high note.
Yeah. 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 Let's hope. Let's hope. It's easier said than done, but let's hope that that's the
Mhm,
case.
mhm,
Um, Well, let's go back to some music stuff. We've talked
mhm.
about Joe pretty much this whole time.
Yeah,
Let's talk about just some general stuff. So I always do these
okay.
lists with guests. So I'd love to hear 5 must listen albums for you.
Okay, I had to write it down because I was like, I would forget. So
Hmm.
my top 5 listen albums, 1989 by
Hmm.
Taylor Swift. That
Yeah.
album just defined changed her whole career.
Yeah.
That is, like, my album. I was born in 1989, so that is, you know,
Yeah.
that's my album. I did put The Crux
Okay.
on my top 5 albums just because if you're looking for nostalgia and just good music,
Hmm.
that's one.
Yeah.
I put Out of the Blue by ELO,
Hmm.
Born in the USA,
Yep.
and then Abbey Road.
Okay.
Those
All
are my
great
top
albums.
5.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Love it.
Love all of them.
And what about like an artist Mount Rushmore?
Let's see, my artists are out Mount Rushmore, Joe,
Hmm.
Taylor Swift, and then Jeff Lynne and Bruce Springsteen. Those are my tops, which
Yeah.
yes.
Bruce Springsteen. I have not yet had no matter even though his career speaks for itself, I haven't had a guest on yet that has had an
Bruce?
album or him this high. So yeah,
What?
I know it's crazy. You would think that that would be not the case because he is a legend. But talk a little
I'm
bit about
actually I'm actually shocked
yeah,
at that.
seriously. Yeah.
Well, I'm from Jersey, grew up in
Mm-hmm.
Jersey, so when you're
Mm-hmm.
from Jer like, he's the boss.
Yeah.
But I just ever since I was like, his music, like, Born in the USA to me, like, that album, I one of those albums I put on, like, No Surrender is so good. I was just vibing to it this morning, like, when I
Yeah.
was drinking my coffee, like, he's
Love that.
another one. He's, like, in his 70s,
Mm,
still performing,
yeah.
putting on 3-hour shows, and, like,
Mhm.
he also, like, is just a talented musician. He puts in the work. He puts out good music. He puts out hits, but then he also has, like, his stuff that is not as well known, but still
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah.
And he's, like, stood the test of time. Like, he's still like, his performance at See Here Now and Asbury Park, like, legendary. Like, I
Mm,
don't think that anything will ever top that. Now, I'm actually shocked that no one has had
yeah.
Bruce Springsteen. Not even an album. I'm actually a little offended by that.
Yeah.
Like, he's the boss.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
I just his music puts me in a good mood always. Like, if
Mhm,
I need to just like, when I'm driving down to the shore, to the beach,
mhm,
put on the
mhm.
boss. No, he's yeah.
Do you get much Bruce Springsteen vibe from Joe at all from his stuff?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely, especially on the Crux.
Yeah.
Like, late I always thought Link kinda reminded me of Bruce,
Mhm,
but you can tell, like, he does draw inspiration from him. I could s like, especially with the Crux, like, Deluxe, like that, like, there's one song he has, like, a harmonica in, it kinda reminded me, like, of, like, Thunder Road, but, yeah, no, I definitely could see those vibes
mhm.
from him, like, that kinda just classic rock, like, dad vibe,
Yeah.
kinda
Yeah,
just
yeah.
good stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard several people kind of describe, uh, the Crux as, like, dad rock a little bit, or, like, yeah, which is not. I think some people see that as negative, especially when you're like, "This is dad
Yeah.
rock," and you're, like, looking at, like, past artists, like, because 'cause you're like, "Oh, like, Daughtry," and, like, but it's,
Oh my god, not
it's
true. I
but
love
I don't
him.
think it's a negative with the Crux. I think it's more just like,
No.
this is, like, nostalgic. I feel like that's what people are trying to say. This is, like,
Mhm,
nostalgic rock, like, it's, you can tell he's leaning into his influences,
mhm.
not too much, not to the point where you're like, "Okay, come on now, this is, like, too much like so and so," but he just
You
a
hear the
really
inspiration.
yeah, you do, and it's a really nostalgic sound, I think, which is, is great to captivate an audience, an older audience, right? Like,
Mhm,
because a lot of these new young artists, like, that their audience is young with them, but, like, if
mhm,
you I think that Joe is in a unique position where they're doing that with a young audience, but then also they're captivating an older audience because they've got
mhm,
this nostalgic sound that people are like, "I like this." Like, this type of
yeah.
rock or this type of music hasn't been around for a little bit, but now it's back. So I'm gonna latch on to this.
That's me, and it's like it's fresh too. Like, it's
Yeah.
again, like, it doesn't feel like a karaoke, like, in like a tribute band. Like, it doesn't
Mhm,
feel like that. Like, it's influence, but also, like, a unique modern sound. It all flows
mhm.
just
Yeah.
beautifully.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, this is like a super off the cuff question. We'll maybe end with this, and you might not even have an answer. You might be like, "No, I don't have anything." But I'm just curious: is there anything in all of Joe's career that he's done that has been disappointing to you?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I actually have one, and it's
Okay.
he's never made a music video for
What?
anything.
I didn't know that.
No! No, he was in a music video. He was just in Tame Impala's music
Mm,
video,
mhm.
but he's never had a music video
Okay.
for any of his songs.
Really?
Just like
Wow.
visual, like those visuals that they
Mm,
do,
mhm.
which they aren't like they just kinda loop.
Yeah.
No music video, not even for End of Beginning. I
Wow.
That is my biggest beef with
Okay.
him. Why don't we have a music video?
He's trying to break the mold, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah, you feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity, to some degree. Like, obviously, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Wow. He's like, "You know what? I'm keeping it totally separate. I'm not acting at all in my music
No,
career."
no. He's like he's like, "No, I don't need to do that. Who cares?"
That's crazy.
I
Wow.
isn't I know, it's crazy.
That kinda blows my mind a little bit. Like, that's really breaking the mold of just what artists typically do. That's
I know
usually
they all
you.
everybody does it.
Yeah, yeah, wow, man,
Yep.
that's, I can't believe that. You just blew my mind. I'm trying to, like, I'm like, "He's got to have made a music video," but, you know what? I
No!
haven't seen anything.
That's me learning that
Okay.
nobody has put Bruce in their Mount Rushmore or in their albums. That is I'm like, "Oh my god." Yeah, no music video,
Okay.
nothing.
Wow. Well, you know, Joe, if you're listening to this, this is us saying, come on, just make a music video.
Just one.
Yeah.
It could be even like a live recording of a concert, just make
Hmm.
it, like, official.
Do you know much? Like you mentioned Tame Impala, and I've seen like a few things. Like I saw him like come in on like where whatever that famous spot is where DJs
Uh-huh.
are. What I can't remember what it's called. Anyway,
Yeah.
I saw that video of him coming in. Where did this relationship come from? Do you know?
I know that he's always mentioned and, like, said Tame Impala is a huge influence
Mm,
for him,
yeah.
even, like, way back. So I don't know if because of what happened, like, with the End of Beginning and getting kind of those opportunities, they became friends, but, like, I was a little surprised. I was like, "Oh, cool." Like, had they been friends for a long time? Did they meet? Like, how did this come to be? I think just his connections musically have grown,
Mm,
but I was like, "Oh, shit, he's in a Tame Impala music video. He's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
chilling with him now." Next,
Yeah.
maybe hopefully a collab. That would be kinda
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be huge. Yeah. Well, and
Be huge.
yeah, Tame Impala. He's obviously like one of the most well respected artists,
Uh-huh,
writers, musicians like out there, about to go on a
uh-huh,
huge massive tour. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see kind of that connection. And but it makes
uh-huh.
sense. I could see some of that influence in his music, some of that Tame
Yeah,
Impala influence for sure. Yeah.
maybe they'll tour together one day. That would be
That would be
cool.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. Or like,
Mhm,
yeah, like you said, do a collab, or like
mhm.
next album he works with him. Who knows? Any of that would be really cool to see.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're coming up on an hour here. I feel like this went by super fast. It was a lot
I
of fun.
did. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, this was great. I always love just like deep diving into an artist. Like a lot of
Mhm.
conversations sometimes are like pretty general about, we
Yeah.
move all over the place, but this was really cool. And I didn't really like have a whole lot of, I guess, a knowledge of Joe and his career. So it was
Mhm.
also just educational for me. So I appreciate you coming on,
Thanks for
and
having me.
chatting. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and maybe down the road, I'm sure there's going to be lots of new music. It'd be cool to have you back on again.
Oh, absolutely. I would love that.
Hmm.
Always love talking about Joe and
Yeah,
his music.
absolutely, awesome. Well, yeah, it was a great time. And for listeners out there, tune in next week. We're gonna have another episode and another guest.